So it would be ridiculous to sit up here and say that domestic violence cases aren't a serious problem in Texas. But it would also be as equally ridiculous to say that these kind of accusations are not weaponized and used in family court. I can't tell you how many clients we've had that they've got 20 years of marriage, they've got no issues. Now all of a sudden they're going through a messy divorce or a custody issue, and all these accusations of family violence suddenly pop up. It's not to say they're not true, but what it is to say is that these cases need to be taken very, very seriously because they have such an effect on your future. It can affect your divorce, it can affect your child custody, it can affect all kinds of things going forward. Nothing is going to sink your family law case faster than the judge finding out that you've got a protective order or that you've got a history of violence. And because of that, you've really got to take these cases incredibly serious. If you're falsely accused of a family violence assault, you need to take it seriously. You need to fight the case. Do not just take a conviction. Do not go to court and say you're guilty. It might get you through that moment, but the collateral consequences are going to go on forever. It's going to affect your divorce. It's going to affect custody rights. It's going to affect your children. It's going to affect your background checks, your ability to get licensed. There are so many collateral consequences of having a family violence on your record. You can't just plea out. You got to fight the case if you're falsely accused. So unfortunately, we have definitely had clients who have been in the middle of a custody dispute or a messy divorce, and these kind of accusations of family violence assault are used against them. It is weaponized by the other party in family court as a way of getting leverage, right? There is nothing that makes you look worse in a child custody case than the other side providing evidence to the judge that you have a history of violence, that you're unstable, that you're an angry, mean person. Those are the kind of things that mess up your custody and your weekends with your kids and things like that. So if you have a family violence accusation against you, you cannot just take the conviction. You cannot just go to court unprepared. You need to treat it like it's a murder case. You need to treat it like your entire life is on the line because your family is depending on you to get that case dismissed. So in family violence cases, a lot of times you'll see one party seek a protective order against the other party. And while not criminal in nature, protective orders don't look great. And so if you find yourself in a situation where somebody's accusing you of something and you've got a family law court case going on, and you're getting divorced, and you're going through child custody, and you're served with a protective order, you want to make sure to take it seriously. Fight it if you can, because it's not going to look good in family law court if you have a protective order against you. It's going to hurt your case. It's going to hurt the chances of you getting equal time with your kids and things like that. So protective orders, while they might seem like kind of a minor thing, make sure to take them seriously if you've got family law issues going on. So some of the misconceptions we see in domestic violence situations is first, that just because you're accused, you're guilty. And that's just certainly not true. We see time and time again that these kind of accusations are weaponized against people in family law court as a way of getting leverage against the other party. The second thing is that people assume that the police officers have a lot of evidence in the case. These cases, as much as anything else, are usually kind of a he said, she said situation where there's really not a lot of evidence. So sometimes people think, well, I got charged, I must be guilty, I must get convicted, and it's just not true. The third misconception that we see is that police officers are infallible. The truth is, police officers, as well-meaning as they may be, they sometimes just get it wrong, right? They show up to a scene, it's chaotic, they talk to one person that's crying, they talk to another person that's crying, they don't really know what's going on, they have to make a judgment call. Those judgment calls aren't always the right call, and a lot of times they know it. But the idea for them is let's break up the situation, let's get everybody safe, and then we'll let the court figure it out, right? So just because you're charged doesn't mean you're guilty. Just because the police officers made that quick decision doesn't mean it's the right decision. Domestic violence is a problem in Texas, and as such, the consequences and the punishments in the criminal code are very harsh. And not only that, it can have long-lasting effects on your family. If you find yourself in a family violence situation, make sure to give us a call. We'll give you a free strategy session. We'll walk through the case, what we've seen in the past, what works in court and what doesn't, and we'll get you past this because the last thing any of us want on our criminal background is to have an assault family violence on it.